can use to improve your bidding in general. One of them is re-evaluating your hand. In other words, how does your hand look after the bidding starts? It either go up in value, go down in value. Not the initial estimation of points, is the re-evaluation of your hand. The next important concept, which I think is very important, each auction has a captain. And the captain has to decide where the contract should be. And a lot of times people confuse the whole concept of who's the captain and who should make the final decision. Should I bid, should I pass? And that's what we're going to spend our time on. And in fact, I do have a quiz that Nancy and Phyllis are going to pass around to you. Take home the answers on the other sheet. I highly recommend you spend some time with your mentor alone and talk about each auction. They are complex, but they are easy to kind of follow, so you can understand who should be making the final decision and so forth. We're going to pass that at the end. And we're going to spend most of our time on how to differentiate between forcing and non-forcing bids. Very important that when your partner makes a bid, and I expect you to bid again and you pass, you lost your partner, basically. Or you're supposed to pass and you continue to bid because you love your hand so much, and you have to go to 6. The rebidding traps I'm not going to talk about. So the goal then is to understand the difference between the two, forcing and non-forcing, understand when to make a forcing bid and how to make a forcing bid. It's not just when, but how. And after you make a forcing bid, how do you proceed from there? We're not going to be able to cover all that, obviously, but I want to cover the very basic stuff. This is really an important point here. Before you spend time learning new conventions with your mentor, it's essential to know which bids in basic standard bidding are forcing or not. So before you start adding all these fancy things on your card, you better be able to tell if a bid is forcing or not. The best analogy I heard, if you want to learn to play hockey, you need to learn how to skate. You can't play hockey without learning how to skate. This is the analogy. If you don't know what's forcing and what's not, you don't know how to skate. Fair enough? All right, so here we go. There are types of bids. The limit bids are very nice and easy. What's a limit bid? Give me an example of a limit bid. 1 heart, 3 hearts. My partner has a limit raised. I open a no trump. I open 2 no trump. I open a heart, a spade, and a rebid 1 no trump. All of these are limit bids. You know exactly where I am. And now you are in charge of the auction in terms of where we're going to be. That's very different when the hand is so unlimited, right? So invitational bids are obviously an invitation to game. And forcing could be forcing for 1 round, or could be forcing to game. So not all bids are forcing the game. It could be 1 round and we can stop. Okay, so let's take a look at the best advice I can give you, which is every bid you should make should describe always 2 things: a numerical value and a shape. How many points you hold, and what's the shape of your hand. You have to be able to translate each bid into numerical value. If you can't, you cannot make a good decision. You just can't. Okay, so your opener's hand fits into 3 categories really: minimum, medium, and maximum. The responder hands also fall into 3 categories: minimum, 6 to 8, medium, and game-going hand. If you add the combined value based on your understanding of the bidding, therefore you can make a decision whether you belong in a contract for parts core or game or even slam. But without having that clarity, mathematically speaking that is, not to mention the shape aspect of it, you really cannot make a good decision. Now, here's some one advice or a rule. Once either player makes a limit bid, 1 heart, 3 hearts, you limited your hand to a limit raise, 9, 11, 10, 11 points or so. I know everything about your hand. When I open 1 heart, I said I have 12 to 21. You don't know where I am. I make the decision now. If it goes 1 heart, 1 spade, 1 no trump, I'm 12 to 14. You can make the decision. You with me? So once one of us limited their hand, the other person can make the decision. So let's take a look at some examples. Here's an example. It goes 1 diamond, 1 spade. Is 1 spade forcing? Absolutely. It's unlimited, right? It's 6 or more. It's a very simple bridge bid, but it promises 4 or more spades, and it promises 6 or more points. Should now me sitting in north with this hand right here, got 5, 10, 11 points. Is my bid forcing? Should I bid again in the north? Absolutely, you should bid again. Bid one no trump, you cannot pass because partner is unlimited, correct? So that's a very simple one-level response to your partner opening bid. Okay, let's take a look at this hand. One club by north, and your partner bids one no trump. Did one of you limit their hand? Which one? To how many points? 6 to 9, 6 to 10, depending on how you play. Now, who's the captain of this auction? North is the captain of this auction, right? Because you don't know. I know where you are. So now I make a decision. That's obviously not a forcing bid. All right? Let's take a look at another example. One club, one diamond, and you have this hand right here with 8 and 9, 17. You have 20 points, is that right? 20 points. And it goes one club, one diamond. Is one diamond forcing? Yes. Absolutely. How would you respond to one diamond now? To make a forcing bet? Jump shift to what?
2 hearts.
To 2 hearts. Okay. So if you bid 2 hearts, you jump shifted, you're basically saying, if you are 6, which is your minimum, I have 19 or more. And the first suit is usually longer than the second suit. Let me clarify that. If this club was, if this spade was in diamond, you probably could jump to 2 no trump. But the fact that you have an unbalanced hand, now you can jump to 2 hearts to show that you have a longer first suit than the second suit. But I do have 19 points. Is it forcing? 100% to game. All right, next. One club, and my partner bids 1 heart. And now I bid 1 spade. All right? And here's your hand sitting in the south. You got 3, 6 points. Now, is 1 spade forcing?
No. No.
I hear yes, and I hear no. And I hear maybe. We had it all covered. It's yes on Mondays, maybe on Tuesdays, and no on Wednesdays. Well, let's think about it for a second. Did I sort of, when I said 1 spade, I could have said 2 spades, right? If I had 19 or more. So the fact that I bid 1 spade limits me to maximum of 18. You agree? And if I have 6, is game possible? Probably not. And I have a flat hand. So the game, this hand is not forcing. Even though it's a new suit by opening. And that may strike some of you as, what is he saying? You see that? So 1 club, 1 heart, 1 spade. Forcing partner has limited his hand by not jump shifting. I didn't jump shift. I could have if I had a game going hand. But I could have up to, that hand. And if I have a little bit more shape, and we have a misfit too. We have a 4-3 here, or well, a 4-3 fit. Okay, how about this one? 1 spade, 1 no trump, and we're playing 2/1 game force.
Henry, did you say to pass on that one?
Yes. 1 spade, 1 no trump. Is 1 no trump forcing? Are you going to bid again?
Yes.
Okay, of course. If I'm an unpassed hand, it's 100% forcing. In standard American, if you are not playing 2/1, you can pass. But not in 2/1, or 1 no trump forcing. Depends on your system. All right, how about this one here? It goes 1 spade, 1 no trump by your partner after passing. It was pass, pass, 1 spade, 1 no trump. And pass, and it comes to you. You have this hand right here. You got 8 and 16 points and a singleton. So you have 5 spades, 3 hearts, 4 diamonds, and a singleton club. Is 1 no trump forcing? I'm sorry? Usually after a pass, a 1 no trump is not forcing if you're playing 1 no trump forcing 2/1. Most people play that by a passed hand as not forcing. Some people may play it semi-forcing by a passed hand, but I think they're a minority. But it's an agreement. I grant you that. But it's an unusual sort of situation. Yes?
It doesn't limit, if you're passing, it doesn't limit you to 6 to 10 points?
Okay, the question is, if I bid 1 no trump after being a passed hand, what's my max? About 11 max. So that could be 6 to 11, right? Now, your hand here is really good, right? So even though it's not a forcing bid, but you probably should take another bid. Why? Because you have a really good hand. You got 8, and then 16, and then you have shape. So, with this hand, you probably could afford to take another bid. But technically speaking, after me being a pass hand, your maximum is 11, then maybe you will have 10, opposite my 15 or 16, we can go to game. Okay, moving along. 1 club, 1 spade, and I rebid my own suit. The opener rebid their own suit. Is 2 clubs forcing? No. So, here we go, not forcing. Why? Because partner limited their hand to how many points? 15. Why do I say that? Why do I say 15? If I had 16 to 18, wouldn't I jump to 3 clubs? But I didn't. So the maximum I could have is 15. Therefore, I limited my hand. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Next. 1 club, 1 spade. 2 clubs, 2 spades. So you rebid your own suit as south. Now, is 2 spades forcing?
No.
And the reason it is not forcing is?
I didn't make a new minor forcing bid. Well,
Okay, so it's not forcing, it shows 6 spades, and it's less than invitational value. What does that mean? If I had a hand that had about 11 points or so, would you jump from 2 clubs to 3 spades?
With 6.
With 6? Yes? Okay, but I didn't do that. Therefore, I have less than 10. So you have the answer. So every time you think about a bid, if you think of it numerically, as well as shape, you will be able to make better decisions of whether you should proceed or not proceed. Yes?
Why is 2 spades showing 6 spades and not 5?
Because usually, if I'm showing 6 clubs, or more, we have a misfit. Just get out. If you bid it again, you have 6. Okay. Let's have one conversation, please. So if you want to force, you can do something different. Bid another suit, jump to 3 spades, 3 hearts, or something like that. 1 club, 1 spade, here you go. 2 club, 3 spades. Here's the bid that we just talked about. Is 3 spades forcing?
Yes.
No, it's not. It's invitational. It's invitational. Here's the rule. If you jump in your own suit, you're inviting. If you jump in the new suit, you're forcing. Right? Okay, so this one is invitational because you're showing 6 spades again in a good hand, or a very good 5. I grant you could have a very good 5. Okay, and maybe some extra shape or something. How about 1 diamond, 1 heart, 2 clubs? Is 2 clubs forcing?
no.
Hello? Is it forcing? Are you afraid to answer?
No.
This is your chance to make mistakes. So take advantage of it. So is it forcing or is it not?
No.
It's not forcing. I limited my hand to a maximum of what?
15.
12 to 15.
I hear 12 to 15. I hear 15.
Yeah, 12.
12. Anybody else
14.
want to add to this? Well, think of it this way. If you're not sure of the math, ask yourself the simple question. What if my partner jumped to 3 clubs? How many points do you think that would be?
16.
19. A jump shift. Therefore, 2 clubs cannot be more than 18. So my range is 12 to 18. Not 15, not 13, not 12, not I'm not sure. It is math. Add the math and you get your answer. Right? Okay. Any more mistakes, you're not going home.
We don't have power.
You don't have time. Okay. How about 1 diamond, 1 heart, 2 clubs, 2 hearts? Is 2 hearts now forcing for you as north to bid again? And here is your hand. Is it forcing? Okay, so here we go. Not forcing. Responder has limited their hand to less than invitational values. When I bid 2 hearts, I said I have less than 10. Or 10, or about 10 or less, right? If I had 11 or 12, I would jump to 3 hearts. So I limited my hand when I rebid my suit at the 2 level. You now don't have to decide what to do. But it's not forcing. This one is not supposed to come this way, but it did. All right. 1 diamond, 1 heart, 2 clubs, not forcing. 2 spades.
Forcing.
Now, most of you probably play 4th suit forcing to game. Yes? If you don't, probably your mentor will tell you to play, because I think it's a very good convention to have. And we're not going to, once it's forcing the game, we're not going to stop before we get to game. You cannot tell me, I want to be in game, and then in the next round of bidding, you decided, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that. I'm going to pass now. That's how you lose your partner. And maybe your mentor, too. No, I'm kidding. All right, how about this one now? 1 club, 1 heart. We know that 1 heart is forcing for 1 round. I now bid 2 diamonds. And now it comes back to you. Is 2 diamond forcing?
Yes.
And why is it forcing? It's a reverse. And what is the criteria for a reverse? How many points you need? 17 plus. And what are the shape, the requirement for a reverse? Longer first suit than second suit, yes? So here we go. 17 or more, your partner owes you another bid. Now the challenge is, which most people don't have agreements on, they know what a reverse is. But then after the reverse, what do you do? How do you tell your partner whether you want to stop in part score or you actually want to go to game? That depends on your agreement with your partner. There are so many conventions out there that people use. That's outside the scope of what I want to cover here. So this is up to you and your partner and your mentor. But it is important to have a discussion with your mentor about that at some point. How about 1 club, 1 spade, 3 clubs? I jumped in my own suit. Is it forcing? No, it's not. Right, not forcing, invitational. And I show 6 card suit. If I wanted to show a big hand, I could jump shift. How about this one? 1 club, 1 spade, 3 clubs, 3 spades. Is 3 spades forcing?
You rebid your suit.
Well, they have closed.
Is 3 spades forcing?
No.
Okay, here's something new. Here's something new. When I jumped to 3 clubs, I said I got 6 clubs, 16, 18 points. I don't have support for your spade. We probably have a misfit. If you take another bid after a jump, it's forcing to game. So 3 spade is forcing. Responder by bidding after a jump is forcing. The only way you do not force is to pass, which sometimes is the best action you take anyway, because you have a misfit. Is this new to some? Obviously, some people in the room are quiet, not telling me, but reading the body language, this is a little bit of a surprise. Because what happens here, you like your 6 card suit, you said I have 16 to 18. I'm sitting with 6 card spades and about 8 points or 7 points, and I just want to play spades. I haven't played the hand for a while. So I bid it again. Basically, you're thinking, oh, I just wanted to tell you that I have extra spades. No, you're forcing us to game. So you got to be aware of that. This is actually an important one, I think. So conversely now, if you wanted to make something else, you have to pass. There's no other bid that you can make that won't force you. 1 heart, 2 diamonds. And here you are in this hand here. Is 2 diamond forcing? Yes, because you're playing 2 over 1. Right? So that's a forcing bid. That's a no-brainer. So you bid 2 no trump, and then it's a go from there. Next, 2 over 1 auctions by a passed hand. That's an agreement now. And let me tell you what I mean by that. It goes pass, 1 heart, 2 clubs. Some of you play Drury, if you remember it. Right? And some of you do not play Drury, which is perfectly okay. If you do not play Drury, then 2 clubs is not forcing. Because it's natural, and it's a passed hand, you can pass it. But if you are playing it conventionally as Drury, promising a limit raise and 3 card support or 4 card support, depending on what you play, then you have to bid again. That's between you and your partner. Okay, next one. Jumps by a responder. 1 club, 2 spades.
Not forcing.
Not forcing. Well, in the good old days, and still some people actually play, Dave Shriver actually played that a strong hand, which is called a solid jump shift. And that's forcing, but most people now play that as weak. And it's not alertable, but it's a weak jump shift. However, if you play it strong, you need to tell your opponents, alert, that is a strong hand. Because most people play it as weak now. Okay, next. One diamond, three clubs. So what's one diamond, three clubs? The first thing you need to think about is my partner didn't bid two clubs, which would be 2/1 game force, right? So now I'm bidding three clubs. So how do you like to play three clubs? Well, there are two schools of thought. Some people play it as weak, and some people play it in his invitational hand with six clubs. That's between you and your partner also. So it's up to you how you want to play it. So you either play it weak, or you play it six-card suit, trying to get to 3-no trump, basically. Which I think is a better treatment, probably. One spade, three clubs. I open a major and you jump to three clubs. Well, some of you have been contaminated with a convention called Bergen, which a lot of people don't like to play, but a lot of people love to play. If you're absolutely married to Bergen, then you cannot use what I'm about to tell you here. So this would be depending on what this three club is. If you play Bergen, three club is forcing. If you're not playing Bergen, then three clubs is natural. And you have to agree with your partner whether you want to play it weak or you want to play it invitation. That's up to you. So you can see that these things have different meanings depending on what you want to do with your partner. But there are certain things that are set in stone that you need to know about. Okay. So one couple more. One spade, four clubs. Is that bid forcing? And what is that bid? It's a splinter bid showing support, four-card support for the major, and a shortness in clubs. If you're playing that, then you cannot pass. It will be painful for your partner if you pass four clubs. And I've seen casualties, all right? So, yes?
How many,
Hang on, one conversation, please.
when you do a splinter, what is the normal point count range?
Yeah, that's a good question. It used to be you have to have an opening hand or but now there are new techniques where people do what's called a two-tier splinter. You can splinter with 9-11 support points, and you can splinter, which is sort of a game-going splinter. If you have more than that, you can jump to the 4 level. But there are new types of splinters that you don't have to jump to level 4. So now I would say the range is anywhere between 9 and 12 support points. Support points. Notice I said support points. And some people play 11 to 13. There's a little bit of debate on that. So, but I had a lecture on two-tier splinters one time. I think you remember, Barry. Anyway, moving on, and I got your question in a minute. One diamond, one heart, three clubs. Is three clubs forcing? Absolutely. It's a jump shift, right? Okay, we know that. So, yeah, that's an easy one. How about this one? One diamond, one spade, 2-no trump. I'm showing what? A balanced hand with the jump to 2-no trump. How many points do you think I should have?
18 or 19.
18 to 19. Is 2-no trump forcing? It is not forcing. Okay, it is not forcing. And sometimes people will bid one spade with a 5 or 6 card spades and 5 points. And they just stretch, right? And then if you have 18 opposite my 5, maybe not be enough. So 2-no trump is not forcing, but if you make any other bid after that, any bid, it's forcing to gain. You with me? So 2-no trump in itself is not forcing. But if you take any other bid after that, because since my bid is not forcing, and you continue to bid, therefore you're trying to force me. And I don't like it when you do that. How about, here you go. Here's the hand I'm talking to you about, right here. So he's forcing, right here, 100%. The first time is not, but if you bid after a forcing bid, so in general now, remember this, if the bid is not forcing, and you continue to bid, then you must have another reason why you're doing that. And it's better be because I forgot, or I love my hand, or whatever. Okay, keep going here, one more, I think. One diamond, one spade, 3 diamonds, 3 spades. So here we go. I jumped in my own suit, saying I have 6 or more. Is 3 spades forcing?
Yes.
Now we are going to say yes. Skip, you're the man.
I wouldn't have said it before, though.
Not only that you're man, you're an honest man, which is really surprising. No. Okay, 1 spade, 2 spades. 1 spade, 2 spades. I have 6 to 9 and support. Now I bid 3 hearts. What's 3 hearts? Is it forcing?
Yeah.
And why is it forcing?
You already have a suit, you already have an agreed upon suit.
Okay, so what's 3 hearts?
Q bid, another suit.
It is not a Q bid. It is, I need to get to game and I want to ask you politely, can you help me in hearts? That's a help suit game try. Help suit game try. I have 3 losers in the suit. Can you help me? Okay? So this is really important. So if I have a fit with you, why would I be telling you another suit? We already found our fit. 3 hearts cannot be natural. It has to be for a reason. I have some losers that I need to get help. Okay, so,
Asking,
I'm sorry?
it's asking.
It's asking. Asking for your help. Asking for your help. Yes.
a very strong hand, why couldn't it be a Q-bid?
Depends.
Because you cannot have, okay. If you have a strong, let me put back, this is a good question. The question is, why couldn't that be a Q bid? All right. I limited my hand by bidding 2 spades, have I not?
Yeah.
Who's the captain? North, the opener. If you know you need to be in game, what else do you want from me? Go to game. What do you need from me? Why do you want to Q bid something? I already told you my hand is 6 to 9 and I got 3 or 4 spades. If you want to be in 4 spades, bid 4 spades. If you want to be in 6 spades, bid 6 spades. If you want to ask me for aces, ask me for aces. You with me? You are the captain of the ship. You make the decision. Hang on. Let me summarize this very quick. Oh, well, one more here, then we're going to have to stop. Bidding after 1 no trump response by opener. This is when you, 1 diamond, 1 spade, 1 no trump. 2 clubs. If you play a convention with your mentor or your partners called new minor forcing, therefore that bid is forcing for 1 round. The purpose of it is to find out, it's an invitational at 11 points, and you're trying to get more information about my holding in the majors. That's really what it is. I'm going to put the slides on the website, my website, and reference it. Ed will put it on the unit side, so you can just see all of these at your leisure, because we went through a whole lot of ground here. So here's the new minor forcing. Let me ask you a question about this very quickly, and then we'll have to stop. 1 diamond, 1 spade, 1 no trump, 2 clubs. Could I not have 4 hearts in this hand? Yes. So now you wonder, why is my partner asking me 2 clubs? A lot of people think it is only because I have a 5-card spade suit, which is true. But you could also have 5 spades and 4 hearts. My first obligation is to show you that I have 4 hearts, even if I had 3 spades. If I don't have 4 hearts or 3 spades, I can rebid my suit or bid no trump. But your first obligation is to show the 4 hearts. That's really, okay. So, I'm gonna wrap it up here with a summary. Okay, yeah, and there's one more thing about this. This is an area you need to talk to your mentor about. You open a week 2, and your partner bids 2 spades. Is 2 spades forcing or is it not? Well, not too quickly. That's a partnership thing. It depends on partnership agreement, and it's on the, you can see it right here. New suit not forcing is alertable, because most people play a new suit is forcing. So I recommend personally that you make it, you play it as forcing. So if I bid 2 hearts, you bid 2 spades, I'm asking you, can you support my spade? If you can, bid 3 spades. If you can't, rebid your heart suit. Okay, and that's, so I'm moving on here. Oh, sorry. Here are the general rules now. Summary. A new suit, but an unpassed hand is forcing. Once you made a forcing to game, you cannot stop. So don't open with a hand that should not open and you get forced and you pull the rug from under your partner. Not a very good feeling. These are reverse is forcing for 1 round. A new suit is forcing for 1 round. Any bid after opener has jumped is game forcing, and so forth. I'm going to put that online so you can see it. Okay? All right, let's play bridge.